What's going on, champs and chambits? It's FireMonkey here. The news is kind of dead recently, but I want to talk about something that came out around 1 to 2 weeks ago regarding the future of Fortnite Battle Royale and how they actually plan to go ahead and develop new seasons, and that is the magical land of UEFN. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, UEFN is used in Discovery right now by a lot of creative maps. I mean, you look at all the red versus blue maps out there, all the Skibbity Ohio Riz backroom box fight maps, all of those different type of maps that are out there, especially box fight like PvP maps, right? Those are typically always made in UEFN, and they're used to actually, have all these unique little elements on screen, such as the different UI, the different HUD elements, all that type of stuff. But it appears that Epic Games wants to go ahead and make it so that UEFN is used for Battle Royale seasons starting sometime in 2025. And I've seen a lot of people over on Twitter freak out about this, right? They're like, oh, well, we have one good year of Fortnite left, and then it's over. It's all over, everyone. After this year, it's just, we're gone. We're out of here, right? All of the games going to just be in buggy UEFN. We're going to be so upset about it or whatever else. And I kind of want to play devil's advocate here and talk about how I don't think this is a bad thing for Fortnite, and how this could potentially, if done correctly, be a good thing for the entirety of the Fortnite ecosystem. Because firstly, if you pay attention to how Fortnite operates right now, we actually have basically everything in UEFN, right? We have all the creative maps out there basically in UEFN. We have Lego Fortnite in UEFN. We have Rocket Racing in UEFN. We have Fortnite Festival in UEFN. I could go on and go on and go on, but I don't know how many times I can say UEFN without talking your ear off and making you just be like, shut up, FireMonkey. But basically the entire game is through UEFN. The only two things that aren't UEFN anymore is Save the World, as far as I'm aware. I think that's heavily still just, the core files or whatever else, and Battle Royale, which has still had some UEFN moments here and there, such as, for example, if you guys remember when we had the tilted tower buildings and everything else, those were put into the map through UEFN, right? Through that whole entire verse system, all that type of stuff. So it's not like they haven't already tried using UEFN on the Battle Royale map. They just haven't done it in its entirety, where the entire mode is through that, right? But it is something that is going to happen in 2025, and I don't think it's a bad thing to be saying. Because if we really think about it, right? If they think that they can use UEFN in order to make it so they can make their entire seasons, their entire map changes and everything else for Battle Royale, then that means that they're confident that they'll be able to put their tools in a spot within the next year that will allow us to actually be on par with the tools that Epic Games has to make their own game. And I really feel like that is the strategy here. That is why they want UEFN to be the core of all modes in Fortnite, including the official ones like Battle Royale, Lego Fortnite, all that type of stuff, because of the fact that if they need to make an improvement for UEFN for themselves, for example, right? If they want a specific thing to be available so they can do it in Battle Royale, I highly suspect that that means that we would be able to do it as well through UEFN as well, because they need that support, so they'll end up releasing that support to us later down the line. It could also be a way, for example, them to go ahead and decide, hey, you know what? We're going to go ahead and release these different tools and, gimmicks or whatever else into UEFN later down the line, but you get to see them first and how they could actually be implemented in your games through the Battle Royale system. And that's really kind of where I feel everything's going with UEFN, right? I feel that, sure, Discovery is kind of dogpiled on with all these maps that you see over and over, and it makes you think that, oh, Discovery, or I guess, UEFN is bad, there's no good creations or whatever else. But if you actually go searching and you look for some of these very unique maps and stuff, people have tried recreating Sonic, right? People have done tons of crazy stuff with their UIs. They've had all this data persistence, data saving system and everything else put in place so that they're able to make these maps that, are on par with stuff you would find on Roblox, for example. And even though Discovery is pushed through with all this stuff that you see all the time and time again regarding PvP or regarding the same few maps being redesigned over and over again, I don't think it's necessarily a UEFN problem. It's just a genre that Epic Games has been heavily promoting because a lot of people who play Fortnite are actively playing those types of maps. However, there are still good UEFN maps out there. I also feel that when it comes to UEFN, there's a lot of people who look back at the Fractured Live event and is like, this is proof that UEFN is garbage and should never be used for Battle Royale. But at the same time, I don't think that's entirely the case, right? Because sure, that was an early version of UEFN, if it even was. I've heard rumors from both sides of, this is UEFN, this isn't UEFN, whatever else. But I still don't think that that is proof that, oh, if Battle Royale was to switch entirely over to UEFN, that it would be a bad thing. Because if I really think about it, right, if I really try, speculating on why Fracture was the way it was, the 40 minutes minutes or whatever else it lasted with a lot of interactivity. It was them trying to test and experiment out with a new system for their live events. As you guys know, we've had some interactive events here and there, mainly mini events and stuff, but a lot of events have been heavily cinematic based. And one of the complaints we heard during when a lot of events were heavily cinematic based was, oh, it was just watching a movie. I wanted to actually interact with the event more. And then they went ahead and tried that, right? They tried making Fracture, which was an interactive event, and people didn't like it. They preferred the whole entire system of before, where it was more of like a movie in a way, right? And I feel like that is what that whole entire point of Fracture was going to be, was that it was supposed to just be an experiment to figure out these type of live events. Sure, they're cool and everything, but do people want these type of interactive live events where it's super drawn out or whatever else, where you have to do a lot of interacting with different things? And I think that because they saw the feedback that we got from Fracture, and because everyone's opinions have kind of surfaced online, they've taken that feedback and their own opinions on that event and have improved it for the future, right? So I don't think that it was a UEFN problem. I think it was just a problem with them experimenting with something they hadn't really done too much of before, but also I think it's a whole entire system where they probably were rushed to get it out, right? We don't know how long it was in active development. We don't know how often it was being developed and stuff. We don't know how many things were cut or scrapped. Because I mean, if you look at previous events and stuff, we've had cinematics and stuff, like the mothership that was supposed to take the 0 point and all that type of stuff, that got scrapped. It got cut, even though they had it rendered out at one point. So I wouldn't be surprised if there were some more things going on behind the scenes instead of just, oh, this is bad because of UEFN, right? And I am someone who is kind of hopeful for the future of Fortnite, right? I am someone who thinks that doing UEFN could be a pretty cool thing, right? If they can make Fortnite Festival, Rocket Racing, and Lego Fortnite all through UEFN, if they can make that Imposters mode from Forever go through UEFN, then there's no reason why they can't go ahead and do the same thing to Battle Royale. So it's going to be weird for the first little bit of time, right? I assume that as we first kind of get into the groove of UEFN for Battle Royale, it's not going to feel too complete in a way, right? But I feel as time goes on, and as they're able to make improvements both to UEFN for us to use and for them to use, we will start seeing it level out over time. We'll start seeing it get better, and it feels more seamless going between different seasons. And that is something I'm excited for, right? And who knows, maybe later down the line, by them making Battle Royale and UEFN, that means that they can go ahead and split up all the different games into their own downloads. I mean, imagine if instead of having to download Battle Royale, Lego Fortnite, Rocket Racing, Fortnite Festival, all that type of stuff at the same time in order to play the game, they ended up splitting it up into different segments. It's like, oh, you want the UEFN files for Battle Royale? Yeah, get this download. Oh, you want the UEFN files for the core game, which would be like cosmetics, all that type of stuff? Get these files, of course. You know, they'd probably be required for those ones. Oh, you want Lego Fortnite? Download this set of files as well with the core things that you would need to see in like the item shop or like the main menus or whatever else still existing, so that you're able to save some space on your actual computer or your device or whatever else, while still having those different downloads parsected or whatever else, whatever the proper word is, so that you don't have to have like 100 gigabytes downloaded of a game. Because I'll be honest here, I have basically everything of Fortnite downloaded on this computer, you know, HD textures disabled, streaming of textures, all that type of stuff, and my game is over 100 gigabytes. And I'm like, oh god, they're getting up there to the Fortnite, or I guess, you know, like the Call of Duty levels in terms of storage space. So I wouldn't be surprised if later down the line they do try splitting stuff up so that you only have to download different parts depending on what you want to play. But yeah, overall, my little yap session, I didn't even mean for this to go 8 minutes, but hey, I guess we're here, so thanks for the extra ad revenue. Shrug, whatever else, right? But you know, in terms of everything going on, I think that UEFN isn't inherently a bad thing for Battle Royale, and I think that it could potentially be a good thing. It really just depends on how they execute it and how they update the program between now and when they actually release Battle Royale seasons in UEFN for if this is going to be a good thing or not. However, I don't think you guys should let previous things that have happened, such as like Fracture, for example, be a deciding factor of, oh, the game is ruined, it's over, throw it in the trash, we're over here, we're gonna play some Roblox Island Royale or something now, right? Don't think about it like that. Wait until we actually have the year from now arrive where we're able to actually experience it and figure out if it feels like it's just a normal Battle Royale season update, or if you can tell this has the jankiness and clunkiness that is something that you might have seen in UEFN, right? I definitely want to see someone like actually play the new season, right? I want to see them play in 2025 when UEFN releases, so we can figure out if this is a good thing or not. But as of right now, I'm hopeful that they can do good, and I'm hopeful that it will actually end up releasing in a pretty solid state once it actually, you know, gets out to the public. And I feel that them actually using UEFN is only going to be a good thing for creative map makers, because it means that they'll be refining their tools and everything else in order to make it better for them, which in turn means that creative map makers will have better tools for themselves so that they can make their own maps even better on top of it. So until next time, hope you champs and champions enjoyed FireMonkey. FireMonkey yapping for like 9 minutes regarding some random UEFN news for Fortnite Battle Royale, and until next time, I'll catch you champs and champets a little bit later with another upload. Peace out.